Shalom, shalom, real motivation. Terrence McKinney back with a brand new video. Before I start the video, I want to give all praises to the Most High for giving me, the strength to make this video and continue, and to put the spirit in me to continue to make these videos. Today's video is called Different Strokes for Different Folks. And I just want to touch on like some stuff that's been going on. I mean, over the weekend we had a couple of different encounters with the police, and the encounters with these civilians and the police ended totally different. And in the case of the young black man who was killed in the last week, he was shot over 60 times. Like, that is crazy. That's like you just standing in front of a firing range, like back in the day, stuff you used to read about in the history books, and everybody just opened fire on you. Like, and not only was he shot like 60 times, he was unarmed, and they was chasing him. Yet on the other hand, you see a white man attack the police and wind up killing 2 police officers, even a police dog, and yet they bring him out in handcuffs, and yet he in custody right now on a $10 million bond. And it's just different strokes for different folks, because how can you kill 2 police officers and a police dog but still wind up in police custody? It's crazy. It makes no sense. And when I think about it, I mean, because anytime I try to make a video, I always try to bring some scriptures into the video, just because. But all this is prophesized. I mean, Deuteronomy 28:66, and I just want to read this verse because this will come to my mind whenever I see anything like this happening. So I'm going to read it. 28:66. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of your life. I just got to read that again. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of your life. And that's one of the most, I mean, everything in the Bible real, but right now, that's one of the most realest verses that you can relate to like our current situation and the current circumstances that like we keep going through. Like, is we don't have no insurance for our life at all whatsoever, because the police is just, it seems like they itching to kill us. If we give them the reason, or we give them any inclination to kill us, they gonna do it. And I got a message, and I want to tell like anybody that look like me, when you get arrested, man, please comply. Just please do whatever it takes for you not to give them a reason to shoot and kill you, because they looking for that reason to shoot and kill you. Like, so please try your best to comply and do whatever they say. Put your hands up, don't reach with nothing, don't get out and run, don't make them chase you, don't do none of that. If they ask you any questions, be honest with them, give them, the correct answer straight up front. I mean, talk to them with some respect. Yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I mean, just please comply with these police officers when they pulling you over for whatever, even if you innocent, even if they ain't got no charges on you. Just please comply, because it's becoming too frequent that like we getting killed and we get murdered for almost nothing. And you don't see those same things happen when other races come into it, and they get, something happen to them, and I'm gonna show some videos, because I got to, like, and this first video I want to show is from the Akron incident. And this is the Akron incident with the mother and the family speaking about what happened. So fair use as I bring this video up, like fair use, I mean, I'm using this video for teaching purposes, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
Police release few answers. A family is grieving over the shooting of Jayland Walker. His mother spoke exclusively today to 3 News about her 25-year-old son. Our team coverage continues now with Mark Namick and more about the police investigation.
Why did this happen and in such a manner? Such a terrible, terrible way. Just why?
Jayland Walker's sister, Jada, and mother, Pamela, seeking answers to the early Monday morning police shooting of their son, whose only encounter with police before that was a speeding ticket.
I'm sick as a mother that it came to that. If they would have spent 5 minutes with him, it would never have ended that way.
Police say they tried to stop Walker for a traffic violation on East Talmadge Road, but he sped away. Police radio to dispatch they heard shots fired from his car. A few minutes into the chase, Walker slowed his car on Wilbeth Road near the Bridgestone tire offices. He jumped out and ran, a gun later found in his abandoned vehicle. 8 police officers surrounded Walker in a parking lot and fired more than 90 rounds after Walker, according to police, made a threatening move. Walker suffered 60 wounds, according to an autopsy report. Several shots were fired after he was on the ground, sources tell 3 News.
Different parts of the videos capture officers trying to deploy their tasers unsuccessfully, and then the public's going to see officers discharging their firearm. As the pursuit goes on, other officers that are responding know that a firearm was discharged, and they believe during this pursuit that the officers had been fired upon.
The shooting drew a small protest today outside the City of Akron Police Department.
Why would y'all do this? That's all I want to know. That's all we want to know.
Concerns the shooting might spark larger unrest led to the cancellation of the city's Rib, White, and Blue Festival, a July 4th celebration set to begin tomorrow. The Walker family's attorney, Robert DiCello, said the video captured by police will answer critical questions.
The video is going to tell most of the story. There have been some allegations that are very serious on both sides of this case that the video should have ready and able to be seen. So we applaud the chief for making those available to us, and we plan on seeing that very soon.
Again, the city's mayor and police chief are promising to release that video captured on the 8 police officers' body cameras by Sunday night. Now, today, members of the Walker family and the attorneys and the Akron chapter of the NAACP called on police accountability around the shooting, but they urged people to demonstrate peacefully before and after that video is released. Laura?
All right, Mark. Thank you so much. And you can stay with us as we continue to follow this story, of course, as it develops. You can find the latest information on our website, WKYC.com, and, of course, the 3 News app.
All right, before I comment and make my comments, I want to go ahead and play this other video from the lawyer on this case who actually taken this case, and I want y'all to hear from his mouth what he actually had to say on this matter that happened. Fair use again as I play this video.
Why?
Joining us now, attorney for the family of Jayland Walker, Bobby DiCello. We saw him there in that package. Good morning, sir. Thanks for being with us today. What can you tell us about the latest in this investigation and the impact this new video, hard to watch, and also, of course, now the revelation from the medical examiner that as many as 60 wounds were found on Walker's body. What impact may this have on the case?
Well, the case is going to be notable for all time for what that package that you just played shows. A young man running across a parking lot is met with over 90 rounds, at least 60 of which strike his body. That's what the medical examiner is showing. And I need you to think about this. In Kentucky, just a few days ago, a white man sat in his house, barricaded himself, killed 2 or 3 officers, and is in jail today. My client's in the morgue, and the other guy is in jail. Now, why do I point that out? Because we have to talk about how police attack sometimes. Not all the time, not all police, but they do attack. And in this case, there was an attack on my client. That was an attack.
So, Mr. DiCello, authorities are claiming that Walker fired a gun out of his car during the chase, but Walker did not have the weapon on him when he was shot. Authorities saying it was instead found in his vehicle. What can you tell us? Did he fire on officers? What sort of is your sense of the run of play here in terms of what happened when?
What we're hearing from the police right now is an organized response that's designed to shed the blame and put it all on my client. And that is absolutely wrong. Let's think about this for a second. Just applying some simple facts. You're driving the car, you open the car door somehow with one hand. Now there's one hand on the steering wheel, presumably, and there's one hand on the open door. Which hand uses the gun? Let's assume you go no hands and you use the gun and you have no hands driving the car and you've got one hand opening the door. But the door, as you can see from the video, does not fly open, and the hand doesn't flag a gun back in the direction of officers. So the only likely possibility, if there was any shot at all, was that he discharges a round onto the ground or at the ground. But now we also know that there's no bullets in the gun and there's no magazine in the gun. So they're going to have some explaining to do, and I think BCI, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, or the Attorney General of Ohio, who's doing the investigation, is going to have to piece this together for us. It's too early to tell whether or not my client even possessed the gun. And they're using a flash, they say, that they get from the Ohio Department of Transportation's camera that you guys showed. They circle it with a nice red circle, none of which details a gun being pointed at police. And I note, and I got to remind us, just a few days ago, in a standoff with dead officers, a man went to jail. How my client goes to the morgue with over 60 wounds in his body is inexcusable.
And lastly, sir, briefly, what do you want to see happen next? Who do you want to be?
2 officers dead, many more hurt in Floyd County, Kentucky.
WDRB's Chris Suter tells us about the accused gunman. Chris?
Yeah, guys, this is him, Lance Storrs. You can see him right here. He is bruised and bloody following that violent rampage that 2 officers did not walk away from.
It's not a police officer shot, or multiple police officers in this case. These are human beings. These are people with children, spouses, and mom and dads. And their world will never be the same.
Those victims were just identified. They are Captain Ralph Frazier of the Prestonsburg Police Department and Deputy Will Petrie of the Floyd County, Kentucky Sheriff's Office. A K-9 named Drago was also killed. Storrs appeared in court this morning. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Kentucky State Police say the shootout happened around 6:30 last night in Allen, Kentucky, which is about 35 miles from Hazard. The sheriff says it started as deputies delivered a warrant related to a domestic violence situation. Deputies called for help when they say the suspect started shooting.
And when I say it's a war zone, when I pulled into this area, we're talking about people in fatigues, people with body armor, people with night vision, people with assault weapons. If that's not a war zone, I don't know what it is. You know, when I get out of the car, there's bullets raining down on us. It's a war zone.
ASB tells us one of the officers hurt is in critical condition. 2 other officers are stable, and 1 officer was treated and released. Reports say the emergency management director in Floyd County was also hurt. Storrs is being held on a $10 million bond. Chris Suter, WD.
Now you hear from the lawyer out of his own mouth how he state the differences and say something need to be done. And this is a white lawyer who is speaking real. Like, well, what is the difference? Like, you know what I'm saying? How does this guy, get killed, but yet a white guy in Kentucky, you know what I'm saying, kill 2 police officers and kill a police dog, is in a live shootout with the police, yet he walk out in custody and he in jail right now waiting to go to court. But yet this black guy is running, and they say they try to tase him or whatsoever, but if it's 8 of them, you know what I'm saying, I don't see the problem, like, where, and they already found a gun in his car, you know what I'm saying, with the clip on the side. He didn't even have the gun loaded, they found a gun in the car, so they know he ain't really got a gun on him, like, and why 8 of them couldn't catch him and subdue him, without shooting him, and then to shoot him over 60 times, at least 60 times, and to fire over 90 rounds, that's execution. That's something like that you would never think you would see. Where how many times you got to continue to shoot this guy, and then when he on the ground, you still continuing to shoot him. Like, it's crazy, and it makes no sense whatsoever, and is something that's unexplainable. And again, I got to read this scripture again, Deuteronomy 28:66. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and have no assurance of your life. Like, no insurance. Like, you can lose your life in a routine traffic stop. You can lose your life, like, anytime you don't comply, and you can even lose your life when you do comply with the police. And I'm not justifying him running or whatever, and I know it's still a lot of facts still got to come out, but it's just a huge discrepancy when you got somebody who killing police officers, and yet a guy who never been in trouble, never did nothing, get out and run, and he wound up getting shot 60 times. And then you had another incident take place yesterday in the 4th of July, like, in Chicago, where you had a shooter go on a rampage, and he killed 6 people and shoot 30. And my condolences to all the victims on both sides, the police officers who lost their lives in the shooting in Kentucky, and the innocent people who got shot at the parade yesterday. My condolences to all the families out there, and to anybody who lost a loved one in any of those shootings, because I don't condone any of that. But yet they chased this guy, and yet he in custody right now after he went on a rampage on top of a rooftop shooting people, killed 6 people, and shoot 30 people. Yet they chase him and they catch him, but they don't kill him in the process. And the only difference between him and the guy that got killed in Ohio was their skin color. That's the only difference, and that's just crazy. Like, how you can kill people, get chased by the police with a high semi-auto rifle. They find it on you, and yet you still walk away and still get to show up to court and talk about it. Like anybody like me, it ain't no insurance for our life. And we got to realize that, man. We got to realize, like, where we at in the circumstances we under, and we got to be smarter, and we can't get a police reasons to do anything to us, because they just looking for that. And I want to actually play this other video from the Chicago shooting right here, and this is fair use.
Celebration unfortunately turned into tragedy. The FBI says the suspected gunman killed 6 people, injured at least 30 others at that parade in Highland Park, Illinois. Some of those were as young as 8 years old. Some of the victims. Officers took 22-year-old Robert Cremo III into custody after a brief chase yesterday afternoon. At this point, police are still calling him a person of interest. He has yet to be charged. During his arrest, police say officers recovered a high-powered rifle, which he obtained legally. Investigators believe it's the weapon he used during yesterday's attack. The shooting happened yesterday as people celebrated the 4th of July in a suburb 26 miles from Chicago. The FBI says a gunman fired shots from a rooftop, sending people running for cover. Bystanders initially thought the sounds of gunfire was fireworks. When they realized it wasn't, hundreds started to flee in terror, abandoning strollers, chairs, and American flags strewn on the streets. Some grabbed their children and families and ran for their lives, hiding behind dumpsters or in nearby stores as the shooter fired bullets to the unsuspecting crowd below.
Very scared because I didn't.
And this guy get arrested and is in police custody after this. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, makes no sense whatsoever. And you got a black man in Ohio get shot over 60 times, 90 rounds being let off, by 8 different police officers. Like, that is something you would think you would see on a movie, or something you would hear about, 400, 500 years ago. Like, that happened. Like, but no, that happened today. Like, and it's nuts. And we got to be careful, and they passing all these laws now to where you don't need any permits, you don't need any passes. Everybody could, because that happened in the state of Ohio, and I stay in the state of Ohio, and I know they just passed a law to where a couple of weeks ago to where anybody can carry. We got to be careful with that, man, and we can't just fall for the okie doke and wind up getting killed by police officers left and right because they figure we got guns on us. And in that video, they said he did a posture when he turned around like he was gonna do something. No, he probably just turned around because he knew he was giving up, like, you know. And as soon as the minute he turned around, they unloaded on him. But now if they think we got guns, they're gonna be more trigger happy to shoot, and they gonna be more amped to shoot us just because of that law. So we got to be careful, and we got to make sure that just because they letting us carry these guns, that we ain't being stupid, like, you know, and we ain't, you know, doing any gestures or any postures to where we look like we doing something threatening to them, because if we do, then they gonna kill us, you know, and that's all to it, like, and they gonna kill us way faster and quicker than they gonna do any other race, because that's just the circumstances we under, and that's the way we looked at, and we don't have any insurance of our life. And so when I see stuff like that, you know, I mean, I used to want to cry out for justice and try to come up with, you know, different ways where things like that won't happen, but I done come to the reality and realize that it ain't no crying out for justice. The only thing we can do is turn to this book right here. It's the only justice we're gonna get, and turn into this book, getting deep in that word, following the statutes, the laws and commandments, and getting the hedge from the Most High. So, like, when we do get pulled over, we under His grace, and we protect it. That's the only hope we got for it. Like, that's the only thing we can do. Like, is pray to God, you know, and live right and live righteously. That's the only way we gonna circum this, and that's the only way we gonna be protected, so those things don't happen to us, because we got Him on our side, can't nobody stop us. And if we got Him protecting us, then ain't nothing gonna happen to us when we run into any encounters of danger. As long as He protecting us, as long as He guarding us, then that's the only thing that's gonna protect us in these times. And we can't, like, I just want to continue to stress this, we can't get the police no time, or, I mean, no instances where we give them a reason to shoot us. And I guess I just want to end this video right here because they done started mowing the grass, and I don't want to be, you know, screaming at the top of my lungs making this video. But I just want to bring some awareness to this, and I want my people to get back to the book and start reading, and get back to the law, statutes, and commandments, and get that hedge of protection that we desperately need. So, real motivation. Like, share, comment. Thank you.